What's up? Welcome to Play and Trade TV. We're coming to you live on the net at pnttv.com. My name is Mark. And Chris, how are you, man?
How you doing, Mark? In the words of Ricky Bobby, I want to go fast. Let's do this.
Let's do this, man. Well, on the show this week, we'll be previewing Codemasters Dirt 3, and later on, we take a question from you, our viewers. And I gotta admit, this is one question that definitely has me stumped. I still don't know what I'm gonna answer. It's a tough question.
Easy.
Well, let's get into our game of the week. It comes to us from Codemasters. It is Dirt 3. It's going to be available in all the Play and Trade stores on May 24th. It's available for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. And I got to admit here off the bat that I didn't play a lot of Dirt 2. But looking at the trailers and that for Dirt 3, this game looks great.
It looks impressive, man. As far as I go with racing games, I have a three-tier criteria. Are the cars awesome? Do they handle well? Because that's the most important thing in a racing game is the handling.
Of course. Yep.
And how awesome is the music? I want those three criteria. And this game has all those checked off and then some. This series, it has a huge following, and rightly so. And it's very impressive what they're doing. They're not just coming out with another racing game and saying, here's new cars, here's new courses. It's just, they kind of, a lot of developers doing this now. They're listening to the people, and they're making the game based on what people want, and they are absolutely doing that, man. This is a very, very impressive game.
Well, I think what's cool about the Dirt series is, any other racing game, either it's like a sport type racing game where it's F1 or like NASCAR, or you have those street style games. And what Dirt is, it just sets itself apart because it's the whole rally scene.
Yeah, man.
And especially here in the US, the rally scene isn't that big. Like, a lot of people don't understand what these races are.
It's like soccer.
Exactly. Football. But what they're doing with this game in Dirt 3 is they're adding this whole idea of the Gymkhana, which is, if you haven't seen this style of racing, it is where guys basically get in these small cars and they race around, and they're flipping and spinning the cars in 720s, 900s, and just doing all these stunts that are so cool to watch. And they've implemented that into Dirt 3. And
they don't really get out of second gear, is from what I've been told.
Man. No.
So it's almost like a mini game. Like, I think the courses are only 45 or a minute long for each lap is what I've heard. Yep. But I mean, just the fact that they took more, they put a more emphasis on the rally scene in this game, which a lot of people left a sour taste in their mouth from the second one because it wasn't heavily revolved around the rally scene, and that's what a lot of people wanted. Right. So for this one, they really focus it on the rally scene, and you don't start out as a newbie in this game, which I love.
Yep.
Because so many games you have to start out from the bottom, and it's kind of fun to do that with any sport game. Even in
right.
Tiger Woods golf always comes to my head. Like, you start out as an amateur and you keep progressing which is fine, it's fun. But this, no, you are instantly awesome, and you have all the good stuff, which is fun. It's different. It's like, I've done the rise in the ranks so many times. I don't want to do it again. Yep. It's almost like ingrained in your head that's what you're going to have to do. But it's fun that they didn't really focus on that this time around.
I think for me, I mean, that's the tour mode where you go around as the pro and you go through all the different rally races and that. But for me, this game, what they've implemented is in the multiplayer. And number one, they're doing split screen, which is great. I know the previous games didn't have that, so you can still play split screen. But also the party games that they're adding into it are almost implementing like a first-person shooter style of games to racing. There's Capture the Flag, which is straight up capture the flag, and blending in that Gymkhana style where you can quickly spin that car around. You're able to play game styles like that. They've also added Outbreak, which is zombies. I mean, did you ever think you're going to be playing a zombie mode in a race car game?
Zombies are infesting every game, which is fine with me. I love it.
I didn't even think of that, man. That's true. Zombies now are in racing games.
Yeah, why not? Wow. Go for it. I love it. It's good, though, that they're doing this, because personally, I don't really like multiplayer racing games because it just gets out of hand quick. You always get the idiot that wants to crash into everybody, and the game. Well, at least your game is over within 30 seconds because the rest of your match is spent catching up to everybody.
Yep.
So it's cool that they put different modes in, and it's something fresh. Everything about this game just seems fresh and new. It's not just a third Dirt game. Here's some new cars.
Yep. And then even the Gymkhana has its own mode just called Invasion, and I think you can have up to 8 people, and you're racing around this small tight-knit course, and you need to hit. There's these little cardboard robots that you have to hit to score points, but everybody is trying to race around this same little course to do that. And you know that's just going to lead to some mayhem on the course. And everybody's going to be fighting over it. And I'm sure it's going to lead to some moments where you'll be throwing your controller through your TV. But it's going to be cool. You know, that seems like it's really going to be a lot of fun. And then also on top of that, if you've never seen any of the DiRT games, especially I know DiRT 2 on the PC looked amazing.
Yeah.
And DiRT 3 is going to carry that over. And I know even the console ports look great too. So the game looks fantastic.
And one thing I never thought I would mention, the menus look... I'm sorry, the menus look great. Even I haven't seen the menu for the third one, obviously, but for the games 1 and 2, they have gotten notoriety for their menus.
I know, man.
And when you look at them, you can go download the DiRT 2 demo, and just if you don't want to play it, just look at the menu, and you'll be. I don't know why. I'm not a menu guy. I don't know who is, but even crazy, just walking in, you have your little own RV, you know, and. It's just, it fits. Everything about the game fits. So, believe it or not,
I think what they do with the menus is the menus are in engine. So, you know, the game itself looks great. So if you put the menus in that engine, it's going to look great.
No, right? It's I hope so. Yeah, you hope so anyway. Yeah,
I do. Yeah. So DiRT 3 is coming. It'll be in all the Play and Trade stores on May 24th. Available for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. Get out, check it out. Seems like it's going to be a very, very cool game. Yep. Well, let's take a break here, Chris, real quick. And you know, the past couple of weeks we've been asking for you, our viewers, to submit some fan-submitted commercials. And the past 2 weeks, we've had ones created by you, our viewers. But this week, we had one that was actually submitted from just a viewer who said, hey, I think this commercial is fantastic. I want you guys to run it. So this is a classic one. So we'll be back right after this.
Oh, my God. Oh, gosh. I think it'll make a person become insane.
This game is an atrocity.
It's revolting. It's violent. It's everything you love in a game. And your mom's gonna hate it.
Why would they even make something like this?
Dead Space 2, rated M for mature.
All right, so welcome back, and I tell you, Your Mom Hates Dead Space was one of the greatest advertising campaigns, man.
Great ad for a great game.
It is. It definitely
double-edged sword, man. That was awesome.
I laugh every time I see those videos. They're so funny. But let's get into our viewer question of the week, and it comes to us from Austin from Phoenix, Arizona, and he says, Dear Play and Trade TV, I'm loving the show so far. Keep up the good work. I'm a big retro gamer, and I wanted to ask you the same question that my friends and I always ask each other. If you were stuck on a deserted island and could only play one retro game for the rest of your life, what game would it be?
Ooh, the old desert isle question.
Ugh. And you know what? I think this also comes into play what your definition of retro is, right? I mean, when I think retro, I think NES, SNES, that style.
Right. But I think you have to include anything that's not current console, because these consoles have been out for 7-8 years now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anything before that, I think is fair game.
All right. You know? All right. So we'll let that roll. Before we give our answers, I got out to a Play and Trade this past week to ask the customers in the store the same question. So take a look at this. All right, man. So deserted island, one retro game the rest of your life. What game do you pick?
I have to pick the original Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis.
The original Sonic, even over Sonic 2?
The original Sonic, man.
All right. So one game the rest of your life. What do you pick?
Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man?
Miss Pac-Man.
Why? Why Miss Pac-Man?
I have a lady to look at.
For the rest of your life, man.
For the rest of my life. She won't complain.
All right, Rob, so one retro game the rest of your life. What game do you pick?
It'd be Metroid, original Nintendo.
The original Nintendo Metroid. Why Metroid?
Always loved the game, played it originally, and I hope it's not a spoiler, but...
I think the game's been out long enough, man.
But when I found out Samus was actually a female, that did it for me. Female heroine, you know?
Awesome, yep. All right, so one retro game the rest of your life. What game do you pick?
I'm gonna have to say Legend of Dragoon for PlayStation 1.
Really? Why Legend of Dragoon?
I mean, it's a really good RPG. I fell in love with it when I was about 7 years old. I couldn't.
Look at your hat. He's got Zelda on his hat, and this kid doesn't pick Zelda.
I'm a Zelda freak, but I mean, I've played and beaten almost all of them. So
awesome. So as you can see, it's a very, very tough question to answer. Now, Chris, what about you? If you could play one retro game the rest of your life, what do you got?
I wish Little Big Planet 2 was retro, but unfortunately it's not, because that would just be hours of fun. But I gotta go with my favorite game ever, which is Resident Evil 2, number 2. Which maybe is not such a good idea, because I don't know if I want zombies on my mind if I'm alone on a desert island. Yeah, but it's I want a game that I know I have finished and can play over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So that would definitely be that no-brainer for me. But you seem to be having a tough time.
Well, I did. Like I said, for me, my definition kind of goes back to the NES and all that. And the one game that I played over and over and over as a kid, and it never got old, was Super Mario Brothers. But I'm not going to pick that for my game. And what I'm going to pick, kind of with you going with Resident Evil 2, I mean, I was, like I said, was thinking more old school. But if I had to go PlayStation, I probably would admit, and I'm actually admitting this to the world. So this is something I don't even know if you ever knew this about me. And I would pick Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation. And the reason being, I've only played it for a couple of hours. And I'm admitting that. I mean, a lot of people go back to that's an old school game that everybody loves. I've never played through it. I've never gotten through the whole game, only a couple hours. And I hear how great that game is, and probably the hours and hours that I could invest in that game exploring the world. That's my game.
But would you want a game that you're not sure you're going to like? I mean, I know you should like it, but believe it or not, there are people that don't like that game.
But looking back at the time that I spent with it, I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
You did enjoy it.
I think for me, it would have to be some sort of RPG who has a well-developed world that I could get into, and that's what I would pick, Final Fantasy VII. And
I can, and it takes a long time to finish, so maybe they will find you and rescue you before the game is over and done with, hopefully. Dude, I'm not going to disagree with you. That's it's a classic game. I love it, but no, you can't go wrong with there.
So that
you're going to have zombies chasing you around anyway.
Right. Well, we just want to remind everybody about the Call of Duty Black Ops E3 Tournament Challenge. Get out to your play and trade. It's running May 21st and May 22nd this very weekend. And the grand prize is you could win a trip to E3. 4 people are going to win this trip to go out and compete at E3. And not only are you going to be competing for a great prize of a $1,000 play and trade gift card, a massive 42-inch 3D TV, and the Immerse Core Effects, which is a vest that makes you feel every bullet impact in a game, but also you're going to E3.
Oh,
awesome!
I can't wait. I can't wait to go. So if I can't wait to go, I don't know what you people are going to be blown away by you experience.
And we will also we will meet you at E3. We'll be there filming some on the spot stuff. And next week on the show, we're actually getting out to these tournaments. So you never know. We may be at your Play and Trade filming some stuff, and you may see yourself on next week's episode of Play and Trade TV. So get out, check it out. You know, as always, send us emails to play@pnttv.com. Follow us on Twitter at Play and Trade TV, and of course on Facebook at facebook.com/playandtradetv. So, Chris, next week we're previewing Red Faction Armageddon, and the demo's out, and we're both enjoying it so far, right?
Impressive demo. I'm telling you, like I'm kind of excited for this game. I didn't think I would be, but from everything I've read so far and everything I've played, it's different. Different, but
Looking
good.
Very, very good. So with that, we'll catch you next week.